I'm Abby,
And I'm Anna.
and this is Serious Beef.
Welcome.
I swear to fucking God with you.
We have a guest with us
Unfortunately.
who's making noises with her straw.
I didn't even do anything.
It's Olivia, in case you were wondering.
Boo.
Hello. Hello, Olivia.
I cut in the booze. Olivia, since we last talked, have you listened to any
No.
episodes? Okay.
They refuse, listener, and we're upset.
We drafted a Muppet team. We drafted teams of Muppets.
We did.
2
We
weeks
talked about
ago.
movies we would like to see made as Muppet movies.
Yeah, that's quality content. I need to know who you think won that. And listeners,
you lost 2 subscribers?
I only lost 1 subscriber, and you know what? We're better off without him.
We're better off without him. Fine. Fine.
27, you know, is my number. We're
What's-
26, and that makes me sad.
Oh, no. We need one
Hey,
subscriber.
Olivia,
go
go
subscribe.
subscribe.
We sound
Exactly
like
like-
that. Oh,
Well,
no.
listen,
I'm listening.
we're recording this at the tail end of March, but this is going to come out first week of April.
It is.
But we're right in the swing of March Madness.
We are in the thick of March Madness.
Now, unlike last year, we're not pitting women
I
against.
just made a face at me for the term thick.
It's
with two C's.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Well, unlike last year, we're not pitting women against each other.
It's true. We decided not to.
But instead, we decided to embrace Arch Madness.
Arch Madness,
Now,
folks.
I have learned that Arch Madness is actually a thing already.
It's actually a real
For the
thing.
Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament.
It's true.
But we are going to do it better.
We're going to do it different and better.
So we're talking about St. Louis today.
Let's do it.
Well, but first the beef.
This is true.
That's what the listeners are here for.
It is. They love to hear us bitch.
That's why we're losing them.
For Olivia. I wish that Serious Beef podcast was more positive.
They literally said in their New Year's resolutions that
yeah.
they were going to be funnier.
They were gonna
Nope,
be-
that they were going to be. That's what I should have said.
Hang on a minute.
Okay.
Damn, we should have. That should have been a resolution. I'm
be
going to be
funnier.
funnier. And then we go talk about saints and Muppets. I don't know. But we would have failed. We would have failed.
Yep. I tell you what.
We said we were going to be more positive.
Yep.
Wah, wah. We haven't even made it through the first quarter and we're already not positive.
You're right. Well, that's okay though.
Yep.
Ready for the beef? I think
I'm ready.
I think it's time.
Tell me your beef.
Here's the thing. I love St. Louis.
I know you do.
I love this area. I love the sports teams.
Yep.
I like some of the stuff that's around here. We'll get to that later. We got some of the best like local food that's like toasted rads and gooey butter cake. Can't be topped.
Legit.
Can't be topped.
Legit. Got some, I mean, look at the hill you got.
I know.
Amazing.
Forest Park. Yeah.
Amazing Italian food. And,
Oh, food. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the Ted Drews.
Well, down the what is it? The Loop. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
In Delmar.
Correct.
Forest Park.
Yeah, this is Forest Park. Yeah, the Muni's up
I
on
got
the hill.
confused. I got
Sit
confused.
down.
You're a real lover of St. Louis here, isn't it?
idea.
Doing it for the clout.
So was like, I also love the Loop. Oh yeah, Six Flags. Fuck yourself.
No,
Delmar.
the Delmar
yes.
Loop. We go down there and we get ramen
Oh,
and
man,
Korean
they have
food.
great
Oh
Korean
my god.
Korean
Oh, a kung fu
places.
tea down
And the
there.
pageant is down there, isn't
And
it?
karaoke.
Oh, yeah.
bars.
The karaoke.
We had the karaoke bar. That was a real hoot. I'm telling you what, we had a ball.
Now you might be thinking to yourself, it doesn't sound like you're very upset about any of these things, Abby.
What's your beef?
my beef is that St. Louis doesn't get the respect or the love that it deserves because the crime rate is so high.
It's true.
And
It's true.
I get it.
It does
We're
get a
number
bad
one.
rap. It does get a bad rap.
We're
yes.
number one in murder rate, and so I get it. All right, listen, who am I to judge? But here's the thing: the crime rate, though we're sitting at number 2, in
2024.
in the country, yeah, for crime rate.
But we're down.
Yeah,
we're
we're,
down.
at least we're not Memphis.
Right, that's true.
Come on,
Terrible crime rate.
terrible crime rate.
But
It's
terrible
almost
state.
1 in 10.
St. Louis saw the fewest homicides in 11 years
Yes,
back in 24. So
yeah,
that's a
down.
positive trend.
What do we look at? What do you say? 13-15%?
Yeah, down 15%.
Yeah, excellent.
So,
So we're on the uptick.
and then you read that most of the murderers
Oh yeah,
don't even live in St. Louis.
there is a study. Now this study is a few years old, but yeah, I read that like a third of all crimes committed in St. Louis are committed by non-residents, And now, admittedly, that could be like, people from Belleville,
And that's true.
you
too.
know,
That's
so
true, too.
that's not necessarily
Or wherever.
That's not saying that they're coming in from, Atlanta and they're like, we gotta fuck with the St. Louis stats.
But that's the thing. You're gonna say things like, we're gonna
It's the
see a
people
drop.
from Detroit. We can't be first again.
Yeah.
Memphis is going up.
Get down there and kill some people.
No, exactly.
God,
But you're
gee
gonna say that there's a drop, but it's like, guys, we gotta fight harder. Let's go.
I know.
And then we're gonna see a spike.
We gotta be number one in something.
Anyway, we all agree St. Louis gets a bad rap, which is upsetting to us because there are some
Right.
amazing places that we love to visit over in St. Louis.
Yeah, well, nobody wants to come here, so nobody wants to put any money in to fix anything, and
And
it's
that's
very
true
sad.
too. That's true too.
I mean,
Like
I
that
never,
landfill in North County really brings in the tourists.
well, we're putting things in there for sure.
Where do you think they hide all the dead bodies?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, but I mean, I'm never moving to St. Louis. I'm always gonna stay,
Well, unfortunately,
where I'm at.
like I would, we talked about moving to closer to your dad's work, but it's a little more expensive to live over there than where
yeah.
we're at. So
Yeah.
that's why we stayed over here. But anyway, we were in the perfect place because we can just zip over there whenever we want
Exactly.
and go do some fun
I'm
stuff.
only like 30 minutes away,
Yeah, tops.
and I get all the benefits of not having to root for a Chicago team.
Legit.
That's really what it comes down
That's
to.
what it all comes down
We
to.
hate you, Chicago. No, we don't.
we don't.
Yeah.
Literally the last week's episode. So we were in Chicago.
Had a great time.
No, I also hate you. Go Pack Go. You know what I'm saying?
We don't like the Chicago sports teams.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really hate the Bulls.
No, I actually
true,
really enjoyed
true.
watching the
Yeah.
Bulls back in the day. Best basketball you'll ever see. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
playing for the Bulls. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about baseball or football,
Or hockey.
Or hockey.
hockey.
Oh yeah, you ain't
Especially
Yeah.
especially hockey and baseball for us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're diehard St. Louis fans for sports.
Of course.
And so we decided to create our own Arch Madness.
Our own Arch Madness.
Explain it, Abby.
I will, but first the sauce.
First, a word from our sauce.
So first we're for our sauce. Our sauce today is Red Hot Riplet sauce. For those of you who don't know, Red Hot Riplets are chips you can get around here in the country. The company, the company is St. Louis based, and they have a sauce.
Nice. All
There
right.
you go.
All right.
But
So
is it good?
I didn't say
haven't-
that the sauce was good.
We
I
haven't
said that
personally
there is a
sampled.
sauce.
I haven't sampled the sauce.
I haven't sampled most of these sauces.
Anything called
it's
Red
like
Hot
false
is not
advertising,
going to be
I see.
something I'm going to try just because I'm a big wuss.
That's fair.
And she's very Caucasian.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. It doesn't get much wider than this.
Well, our Arch Madness is we put together a Sweet 16 of the 16 best places to visit in St. Louis.
And so we kind of came up with some ideas. There are way more than 16
Oh my God,
things.
there's so many things.
And so we'll list some honorable mentions when we get done.
Yeah, we'll talk
uh,
about those at
we
the
just
end.
kind of picked out what we thought would be some good recommendations.
And it ended up actually coming out that we've got our bracket split in half. 8 are things that you have to pay to do, and the other 8 are all free things.
So if someone came to St. Louis, what would you recommend they go do?
Yeah.
So we start with the free side.
Yes, the
Things
free
that are
side.
free.
We've got the zoo, the St. Louis Zoo, versus the Muni,
Now Abby seeded them, and
I
she
did.
gave the zoo
the number
the
one.
number 1 seed.
Now that doesn't mean that just because that's how I've seeded them that that's how they're going to be, because we've got Oliver's here
Yes,
to weigh in
kinda
on
be
her
Kind of
opinion,
be a tiebreaker there.
and you've got your opinion.
Absolutely.
But
Even though it's wrong.
what's the Muni's actual name? Anybody?
That's why she's looking it up.
I'm looking
it
it up. Oh, look at this. I still don't know, but the St. Louis
Municipal?
Nope. Only one N. Municipal
Municipal.
Opera Theater.
Yes, you're right. I'm saying municipal. You're right. It just is one and municipal.
The Muni is an outdoor theater.
If you don't know,
If you don't know,
it is the oldest and largest outdoor musical theater.
thank you. Now here's the thing. So the Muni is in on a technicality because
It is.
there are free seats.
The theater seats about 11,000.
Okay.
1,500 of those seats are actually free. They're way up top. There are actually seats. We used to go
That's
over there
true.
when there would be a concert. And, I remember going over there for like the Doobie Brothers and a couple other concerts. you can sit out on the lawn. You can't see it, but you can hear the music. So good enough, you know.
Yeah.
So we did that too, which would again be free if you want to do that. But there are about 1,500 seats that are free. You can stand in line and first come first serve. You can get a free seat. You're not
Yeah, you
gonna,
got to get over there early.
you got to get early, and you got to be happy with sitting in the back. But you know, so when I was young and poor, yeah, I'd go sit in the free seats. I did that for a couple different shows. So it's in a technicality because
There are free seats.
there are some free seats.
They
Not
do
all
gate.
the seats are free.
They do gate those people off. It's
No.
not really why, but they do put a little gate up.
So you decided we have the zoo, St. Louis Zoo versus the Muni.
The Muni. Now I know who's moving on right now.
In my mind,
I know in my heart
it's going to be the zoo.
it's gotta be.
Me too.
It's just gotta be.
It's got to be.
Oliver, thoughts, prayers.
I don't know. I feel like as the summers get hotter, I'd rather had to walk around and see something than had to sit still and just kind of fester.
They did replace their fans at the Muni so
Yes.
that they do run through the whole show, but not everybody's under the fan.
No.
It gets pretty hot. I've had some good experiences at the Muni, and I've had some bad experiences at the Muni because you can get rained out and whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go zoo as well, just because I don't think I've ever had a bad experience at the zoo. It's always
I mean, I
it's
think
always been a good time.
I think that's also there's more bang for your buck, which your buck is zero. So
Right.
but
Also, the zoo is open year round.
yes,
The Muni, you have options only for summer.
and you don't get to pick the shows. Now, admittedly, you don't get to pick the animals at the zoo either, but
That's true.
it's a very good zoo.
It's a very, very good
It's
zoo.
I don't know where we rank
They just
nationally.
They just voted, and they're in the top 10.
nationally.
Yep.
Yeah,
I just
I
saw they
know-
put a post out that said thank you for voting. That I forget what number they were, but they are in the top 10.
I know that there is a ranking of the best free zoos, and we are number one on that consistently.
Yes.
We are always the best. Because how are you? I mean, I was baffled when I was older. I don't know, maybe 8th grade or something like that. Maybe going to high school, and I went with Mama, your mom, up to visit our relatives in Minnesota. We went to the zoo, and then we had to pay admission, and that baffled me.
Right, because you've grown up with
I've
a free
never
zoo your whole life.
right. I've never paid to go to the zoo
We
before.
spent a lot of time at the zoo.
Animals, you deserve to see them.
Yes.
Okay, I was like,
But
why
it's
would
expensive to
why
care for
would
those
you put a
animals?
financial barrier
I
between
think
me and the
most-
damn bears?
Most zoo are
The Bears.
not free.
I thought we talked about this.
No, I'm happy for there to be a financial barrier between me and the Chicago Bears.
That's it. That's the only kind of animal we're happy for, a financial barrier. That's hilarious.
Well, let's be honest.
So
if the Bears were free,
I think
I would still stay away.
even if they let us go for free, we're not going. We all collectively, I think, agree on the zoo.
Yes,
That the zoo moves on.
it's gotta be. No hate to the Muni,
No,
but
no
like we
hate to
said,
any of these on the
No,
bracket.
all of these are great things.
Clearly, they made it on our bracket.
Absolutely,
so-
all of these things are well worth doing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
I
got
think
hate for the
I think
Muni.
you just get a little bit more out of the zoo.
for sure. Okay.
All right. We've got next up is the Art Museum versus the History Museum.
This is tough.
This one is tough. Both of these are in Forest Park.
This is very tough.
Now, we talked about this.
Yeah.
We had to break Forest Park up because
Right.
Forest Park is the zoo, the Muni, the Art Museum, the History Museum, and there are
The
other
jewel
things.
box, there's all kinds
There's
of
a ton of
stuff.
stuff.
I will say though, it really depends on like the party that you're kind of going with for some of these areas. Because if we're comparing the art museum to the history museum, let's say it's like, oh, you've got kids. There's more, depending on the exhibits that maybe at the history museum, it's more interactive in some cases. I mean, the one time that we went, there was the Color St. Louis, and lots of kids were using that.
That was at the History Museum.
Right.
Yes. And they do have a children's room at the History Museum
Yeah.
as well.
Right. But like I
That's
think for the
interactive.
art museum, I'd say obviously it might be more interesting for more like adult parties. Maybe like a first date would be fun there.
You're right. It definitely depends on your age.
Yes, there's things on here that I think are probably going to lose out because they
sure.
are focused at kids mostly.
Right.
And so we're looking for fun for the whole family.
Right. Well, this is really tough.
This one is tough.
because the art museum is fantastic, and we've been there for special exhibits.
That's both of
Awesome.
these. Both of these, the art museum and the history museum, get very cool like exhibits. We just went to the history museum for the Pride thing last
You
year.
have been to the History Museum for the Little Black Dress. Special exhibits are Route 66,
Our-
the Prohibition, The Pride one.
Ashley and I and listener Taylor actually happened to be in town, and we went over to the art museum, and they had a whole exhibit on like the history of graphic design, and that was very cool.
That's so
They
cool.
had like the Campbell soup can, you know, 'cause
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Oh, we
Warhol?
know Warhol.
and thank you.
Yes.
And, yep, it's Andy Warhol. So they had a whole bunch of stuff, and like some of it was just like pop art. You know what I'm talking about? Yep.
Mhm.
And so that was very, very cool because it had some old like ads and whatnot to look at, and we were like, okay, we're gonna come here and pay for this exhibit or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes.
Nope, it was free that day.
So here's the thing: the art museum is free, and then they do bring in special exhibits. They rotate them, you know, out. They had one on Van Gogh that we went to not too long ago.
that was more like an
one on
interactive
Monet. Very cool. But if you
Oh,
go-
Monet was very
so
cool.
the
we did
special
go to that one,
exhibits that they have are free on Fridays.
We happened to just be there on a Friday.
If you
We
got
didn't even
lucky,
know.
Yep, you get lucky. So if anytime they have a special exhibit, listeners, Fridays are free.
Yeah.
So you can even go free then. How awesome is that?
I know
You can't do that like anywhere. I mean, that's such an awesome thing that we have here.
another
And
one
but the
we
thing is, the
went-
History Museum, same thing.
Yes.
You know, it's free, and they bring in all these special. Like the color one was super interactive.
Oh, that color thing was
Yeah.
completely free,
Loved
and that
it.
was so cool.
Yeah, the roots, the little black dress one, free.
I didn't get to see all that one, but
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, we
We
loved it.
Dad and I went to the History Museum. They had they had the NFL, the whole football thing, and they had jerseys and all this. It was so
Right.
fun.
They rotate in and out these exhibits. I don't know how I can pick. Gosh, they're good.
I've been thinking about this one for a while, and so I've come to a conclusion.
I'm torn, but you know I love a good museum,
I
and we have two really good ones.
I'll say my decision, and I'll say why.
Okay.
I'm going with the art museum over the history museum because I think that museum is slightly bigger,
I think so too.
and so they have a little bit more stuff.
They do have more. I think.
And
I think you're right.
And I also think that they get more exhibits more frequently because they are the bigger of the two. That being said, it's very close
Yeah.
because we didn't even discuss how the History Museum has a whole World's Fair thing
Yeah,
there.
that's always there.
That's always there, and that's always free. That's very cool. But the art museum, I think, has obviously it's all art and there's contemporary and whatnot. I want to say that if you go down to the lower levels, they've got like medieval like suits of armor and shit down there too, and it's very cool. So I'm personally giving the edge to the art museum.
You know what's really crazy about Forest Park? They set it up for the 1904 World's Fair, which we know this. But both of those buildings were from that fair.
Yeah.
So the buildings, like, I don't know about you, but
Oh yeah.
just going in the History Museum, that building is so beautiful.
A lot of people get
just-
married at the art museum.
It just blows your mind.
well because
How absolutely gorgeous.
the location for the art museum
Yep.
it overlooks the lake and everything.
Well,
Yeah,
people
the
say
hill.
Hard Hill all the time, yeah.
Yes.
And then the lakes or
No.
pond or whatever that is down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they're both buildings are
very
just
cool.
beautiful. Love it. I'm gonna have to agree with you on the art museum. I think I would say art museum. I love both. I would go there to either place any day of the week. But
Oliver.
I think you're right in as far as I've taken classes to that museum
Yes.
for field trips. They work with teachers. They have a lot of extra things like that too, which is great. Not that the History Museum doesn't. I've just never did it, but yeah, I'm gonna go art museum.
Oliver.
I think I might. I
It's
might go-
tough.
Well, not necessarily. I agree that it's like the art museum is, larger and I think more aesthetically pleasing. I can appreciate art, but I cannot just kind of walk around for that long and not really do anything. I guess it really depends on the exhibits that are there. I think the History Museum, there's always like something to do, like no matter what exhibit that's like permanent there or that's temporary. Just like I said, whether or not you're bringing kids with you too, interactive stuff.
Yeah.
I would prefer that over just.
I think you're also just more interested in what is at the history. I think you are more interested in what's at the history museum than what's at the art museum. You're just more interested in history than like art, art history. So, which I think is totally fair. Now, I will say you have been outvoted, and so the art museum is moving on.
Moving on. Okay.
Sorry to say.
Honestly, you can't go wrong with either one.
All right, up next.
Up next,
we've got the Arch.
The Arch.
No pansy monuments here.
No pansy monuments here. It's technically free to go view, and you can go down into the museum that they just redid not too long ago.
Yes,
Fantastic Museum underneath.
I believe that's free.
You do have to pay. I believe
To go
so.
up.
I don't remember paying. I haven't paid to go in that museum. It's always been free. But you pay to get in the little pod and go up to the top of the arch.
I think so.
And why would you?
Oh, we've done it.
That's
You
true.
gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
You got to do it for the
Listen.
experience to say that you've done it if you're ever in the area. But I'm good. I don't need to do it.
No.
The little pod things.
I like to
are
be
terrifying.
up there. I don't like the way to get up
Right.
there.
Well, have you ever been up there and the wind's really strong and you can feel it moving? Isn't that freaky?
No,
I find that
just
freaky.
hate how
Yes,
small
when you're
the
looking out
space
and you
is.
see that you're like
Yeah,
leaning
just a little
forward,
bit,
and then
yeah.
you lean backwards a little bit. It is.
It's a little freaky.
Cool.
Okay, yes. So it is $12 if you go there and you want to
$12.
ride to the
To
top.
right to the top.
Yeah, $12. $11 for children 3 to 15.
Oh, interesting.
You take a good pass.
Oh, apologies. That was part of the America the Beautiful pass. It's actually
Like that seems cheap.
it's actually $15.
Oh, okay.
which I mean,
that's
still.
still not horrible. So okay, so we have the arch. What's the arch up against?
The
This
Arch
is gonna be tough.
is up against the World Chess Hall of Fame.
Oh, be for real. Sit down. Sit down. Oh my god. You
Hold on.
I've heard enough. I've heard enough.
Listen. This is not just the St. Louis Hall of Fame for chess. This is the world.
It's the World Chess Hall of Fame.
That
They
literally
got
makes
the
it-
world's largest chess
Chess piece.
piece is there.
which we talked about this before.
That makes it.
It's pretty
more
cool.
lame.
No, they have.
It's
They
amazing.
got. We have to go. We're going Sunday.
We're gonna go.
We're
Sunday.
going Sunday. We're going
keep-
Sunday.
We have talked about this on the
Who's
podcast
we?
twice, and yet we've never been there. Abby
Well,
and I are gonna go. You don't have
because
to go.
you had surgery and then all hell broke loose.
Oh, hell broke loose. and it's
Okay,
true.
so
But
we couldn't go. But
we're gonna go.
now here's the thing, because I'm gonna vouch for the World Chess Hall of Fame. I haven't been, but I'm vouching for him because it is 100% free. A suggested donation of $3.
That's it.
But the-
suggested
suggested
donation. I'm gonna
donation-
give him a 5.
I'm literally. I'm like, if
Sorry,
let's
crack
say
was
3
on.
of us were going, I'm throwing a tenner in.
Right.
Okay, done. Keep the
Legit.
change.
Keep the dollar.
But you don't even have to do that.
You don't
It's
have to.
completely
You can
free.
go for free if you don't even have
And
$3.
they also have exhibits that rotate in and out.
They do, and they have interactive stuff. They have a giant chessboard. I'm
Different
told.
chessboard exhibits.
Yes. They got
She's being
animal ones.
sarcastic.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, but they
You
also
just get to go with us.
They have a whole thing about they have one that's there right now that is like an exhibit that talks about some like the masters or whatever, like the people.
Cool.
I see. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
okay.
I think that's cool.
Now, here's the thing. That's kind of amazing because if you are good at chess,
Yeah.
that blows my mind
Well, right.
because I am not good at chess, and
Right.
you're fairly good at it.
I'm out of practice.
Well, yeah, you haven't played in a while, but you know, because nobody will play with you because you're too,
Nobody
you
would. And
always
so
beat
like,
us.
yeah, I got rusty.
And
I was a nerd.
to be able to
Listen,
think that far ahead and see
Was-
the moves and know what you have to do in order to win that game is impressive because it's not easy.
it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
I think.
So,
yeah.
Uh,
I was I was a nerd in growing up, and I was in the chess club in grade school.
you were. And I was.
but this is
like-
this news is not going to shock any listeners. This news
not.
isn't going to shock a damn person.
I don't think so.
The best year of the 2 years that I was in, because I was formed when I was in 7th grade.
Right.
We got to choose what kind of shirts we wanted. The little,
Little
chess club.
Okay.
Because they were just
Chess
giving us,
club.
they were just giving us like gray shirts with black writing, and I'm like, And-
That was an eye roll if you couldn't
yes,
see that.
the listeners could not. I don't know. The
didn't get
listeners
you
might have heard.
They might have felt that eye roll.
No
No chess club.
No polos. It was a T-shirt. But I remember that the person who was the principal at the time, who was running the chess club, comes to us and he's like, "Okay, you can pick whatever color." So he holds up the options and we look, and at the very end was camo, was included in the like same as like blue, pink, red, whatever, and we're like, every single one was camo, and so we
Really?
got camo T-shirts, and in tan writing it said like chess club,
club.
whatever. Listen, you don't even understand how stoked we were. Okay. We were so excited that it wasn't just a gray T-shirt with black writing.
That was the most unique chess club
And you know
shirt
what?
ever.
We show up to the
and
tournaments.
no one could see you.
So I won.
Not
They
even
just thought we
You
weren't
blended.
there, and then they
You blended.
forfeited.
Well, it's funny. You actually did go play in tournaments. Yeah.
Yes, we did go play tournaments. We were very popular.
Yeah.
No, that's what we did on our Saturday mornings.
The slow mo walking in their camo shirt.
No, they're gonna be like, hey, so the team hasn't shown up. They had to forfeit. They never won the
Oh,
tournament.
that's so funny.
But
Okay.
anyway,
All right, so we
the World
digress.
Chess Hall of Fame. Now, I also am going to probably give this one to the Arch.
It's got to be the Arch. I'm sorry, World Chess Hall of Fame.
But I do think that that's very fun.
I mean, you
I
got
think
what,
it's very
the
fun
biggest
too.
chess piece in the Arch. Which one's bigger than Godzilla?
It's true.
Let's be
God,
for
it's
real.
true. The Arch is going to
I
win
did have a
just
whole
on
rant.
sheer size.
Yeah, I
Pales
well,
in comparison.
and like we said, you do technically have to pay to go up into the Arch,
It's true.
and that's not a thing that you have to deal with at the World Chess Hall of Fame.
It's true. You're not going to
However,
go up
Well,
in
who's
anything.
going up on the biggest?
Well, exactly. They don't charge you. They don't charge you
I
for
don't
that.
think you're allowed to climb it though.
No, you're not.
Exactly.
Which is why they don't charge.
This is
So-
I don't know if we can put. I don't know if we can put anything up against the Arch, unfortunately. But
Sure
'cause
you
it's
can.
Amazing.
A
but
really tall man.
So
All right, the
I
Arch
think
is
we're all
moving on.
giving it to the Arch.
for all intents and purposes, I think the Arch is going to win.
Let me tell you something. From
Okay.
a design standpoint, you know how satisfying it is that when I write my A's and I do the little swoop thing, that arch starts with an arch.
Yes, it's amazing. It's
Love
amazing.
it. Okay.
The Arch is
My
such a
God.
beautiful sight. I mean, you think about it. Every time you drive over to St. Louis as a kid,
There is the
first
Arch.
one sees the Arch. You know, you call it out.
Yep.
It's so cool. If you ever ride the Amtrak, which we'll need to do that sometime, when you
Yeah.
come into St. Louis on the Amtrak train and you come around this corner and there's the Arch. First time I rode the train, we came around the corner, there was the Arch and the sun was setting, and I snapped the pic and it's just beautiful. You know, how many pictures have you seen of the Arch with fireworks or the moon or the
it's so
sunset?
cool.
And it's gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
It's
you'll-
just an
we'll get to
iconic
that
sight
later.
for us
Well,
here
quick
growing up
question.
in this area.
How many times have you attempted to jump out of the arch into the abyss?
Percy Jackson. That's in a book. That's a deep cut from the book.
That's
They didn't
good.
put that in the movie, and that's so disappointing.
I think they
This
put
is
it in the
what I
show
know.
though.
Oh, I haven't seen the
yeah,
show.
we haven't
Very
seen it.
exciting.
Okay, moving on.
All right, we got to move on. All right, last one on the free
freebie
bracket.
side, okay.
We have the Science Center
Slay.
versus the Lumiere Sculpture Park.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know that was pronounced Lumiere.
Yeah, we had
I
actually.
always heard it was Laumere. Laumere? I
Oh
don't
my
freaking know.
Listener, if
now
you're
I
from
can't
this
say
area
it
and you can vouch for us, help us out.
all. Laumere
But-
Sculpture Park.
Ashley
or is
says
it
it's,
Lumiere?
Ashley says it's pronounced Lumiere.
Okay, I'm not questioning her. Well, I guess I
Yeah.
was, but I don't mean to. I just really don't know.
Now, so listeners who don't know, the Lumiere Sculpture Park is it's free. It's just a
big
park, but they have all these large sculptures. I think you said you can climb on them if you
yeah,
want.
I have been there with students and my own kids, and we've climbed on the sculptures, the ones that you can. Some are too big that you can't. I found it very, very cool. I liked it a lot. So we
I
ate
know what
lunch.
you're talking about.
You can picnic there and
Mm-hmm.
see. There's all. It's big. It's
There's
nice,
an eyeball.
nice big park, and there's
Yeah,
all kinds
it's
of.
almost like
You can go down in that the eyeball. You can go like. Is it the one you can jump down in there?
I don't know. I've never been.
Okay, I've been.
don't-
I have pictures of.
well,
I think live down in that.
there's the face, yeah.
Yeah,
that
the
you
face.
jump-
Yes.
Yeah.
Was one I thought was just an eye.
There's
but
a
I
whole
don't
bunch. Now I will
Maybe it is the
say
face.
I will say that May 9th through 11th will be their 38th annual art fair.
Oh,
So
ooh.
like that's the thing. That's the thing with all, especially the free ones that I really
Yeah.
will vouch for is that so many of the free ones also then on top of just being free to do whatever it is that they've got going on,
Right.
end up putting on other events and specials and things like that,
All the
and
time.
it's so fun.
And I haven't been over there in years. Just because I don't have kids anymore and I don't go on field trips anymore. Just anymore. I don't have. Yeah, you're not kids. You're adults.
Destiny.
You're adults, and I don't go on field trips.
No, but I know, like
Um,
having this stuff feels like it's hidden, like you're discovering it because like
true.
the one walkway that has like the giant string
Giant, yeah.
of like
Yeah.
what, beads
Or
So cool.
you know,
Yeah.
giant.
you just walk all over and you find all the
never know what you're
sculptures,
gonna
and it's just and you could take a lunch, you know,
Yes.
picnic lunch, whatever, and it's just kind of a cool spot.
They are. It's
I
very
liked
cool.
it. I liked it a lot.
So there's that.
Okay.
So
And
it's
it's
a
up
very cool
against-
place.
up against
it's
what?
up against the Science Center.
The Science Center,
So-
which is technically free.
The
You do
Oh,
have to
most
pay,
of
for
it
the
is free.
majority. You do have to pay if you want to go to the
Certain
IMAX
exhibits.
theater or some of the planetarium,
planetarium.
stuff is going to, which I adore the planetarium. That's probably my favorite side of it. We did a laser light
Sometimes-
show there that was really fun.
Sometimes they also will bring in exhibits.
Yep, they do switch out their exhibits all the time.
The one that I remember the most is the Body Works exhibit.
yeah, that was cool.
Because that one is so cool. It is not for the squeamish because it is like cadavers
It is.
effectively.
It was,
But
yeah.
it is so cool. But you had to pay to go to that separately, kind of.
Some
thing.
of the
So-
exhibits are, yeah. So they just had one about hockey not so long ago. I think they have an exhibit, special exhibit. I just saw on the news on electric cars.
Oh.
And I think you can even test drive one.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched a story about it this morning. So yeah, they bring in stuff all the time, but then they have their usual the big dinosaurs. Or
The dinosaurs are free. You can build
Yeah.
the arch. You have a ton of stuff. They have a whole like space area that's like
Yes.
leading up to the planetarium. And when we did the whole Taylor Swift laser
Yeah, I
light
was
show,
saying, yeah, we-
planetarium.
planetarium. I love the planetarium. It's one of my favorite places in the world.
It is
The
very
planetarium
very
does
cool.
all kinds of events. If you're into the space, you
Yeah.
can go and you can go over there in the evenings too and do like
Drugs.
Well, like
it's escaping.
they have programs
Cut
and
this out.
events. So
Yeah, you can
they
go
have
find. You can do night sky viewing.
Yes.
and in the evenings and different things like that. Yeah.
But they also have so the laser light show is of course one that is kind of going around like goes around like throughout the year, especially in the summer. They do the summer series. But they do so I'm on their website. Some events that they have listed is Community STEM Showcase, Science Spooktacular, and Yoga Under the Stars.
Oh, that's cool.
So-
I hate
Oh my
yoga,
gosh, I
so
would
I'm not doing
totally do
Okay.
I hate yoga. So
Um,
I need to do it. I should do it. If you become a member of the zoo, it's not that expensive.
or
in
the
my
Science
opinion.
Center even.
Well, I'm at the Science Center, but it actually does also work for the zoo. That it gives you perks like free parking and
Yes.
you get to go into the different exhibits for either free or less than if you weren't a member.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think it's like if you're a member
if you
at
go
the
a lot,
zoo-
then it's worth it. And same thing with the zoo. If you get free parking and then you don't have to pay to get into like the children's zoo.
right.
Which I
I
don't
think
know,
you
they're
also
working on that
they're
now.
actually remodeling
You
again.
get free carousel rides and train
Yes.
rides
That
and
was
things
one-
like that. If you go to these places a lot, it's well worth to become a member, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So we're kind of preaching to the choir because we both love the science.
Of course. I think I have to give the edge to the Science Center over the Sculpture Park because there is just so much to do.
And it switches out.
yes.
So I'm gonna agree with you on Science Center.
Yes. Oliver?
Yeah.
She agrees.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Science
Science
Center's
Center it
moving
is.
on. All right. Now we're cutting down to the paid.
Okay.
The paid
All
ones.
right. Here we go.
So all of these things, you have to pay at least in some
Some respect.
capacity
Mhm.
to go to them. So up first, we've got the City Museum
Mm-hmm.
versus Union Station. Now, Union Station is an old train station that is no longer a train
Right.
station.
We don't use it anymore, which is a shame.
It was converted into shops,
Yep. It was a mall-ish
Yes.
at one time.
and then they converted it again into like the aquarium that
Yeah,
is
the
there
aquarium
now.
is there. The wheel is there.
They built the large Ferris wheel.
What else is
And
there?
there's still shops and there's still like food places down there.
The fountains and little water areas still outside.
think
You
there's a
can-
koi
You can
pond.
go sit. Yeah, and it's pretty. We rode the wheel once. Kind of terrifying when you get up there. But
I've never ridden the wheel.
We rode it at night. It's kind of cool and terrifying at the same time.
Oh,
I'm not
there's-
super scared of heights, but man, that's high.
There is mini golf, a carousel, a ropes course. There is. I know that in Christmas time they will do the Polar Express,
They do.
which
is very
my sister-in-law took my nephew to.
Okay.
And they were kind of disappointed.
Oh, were they?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it is a
did
thing you
not
can
go to
do.
the North
It is a
Pole.
thing that you can do.
So, and we all know the city. I don't know. The city museum is just
not go to the North Pole.
The City Museum is a crazy, fun, interactive love. I got to go City Museum.
It's
For when
yes.
it's 1 fee, you get in, you get to do, explore everywhere, all over the whole building, inside and out.
Yeah.
Union Station, everything's kind of a separate fee, so I'm not a huge fan of that.
Union Station. They're not sponsors. Why am I being nice? I do think that the Union Station is fine, and the things that are there to do are fun. I will never again go to the aquarium.
I heard
because
it's way too small.
it is so expensive And maybe it's not really that expensive comparatively to, like, say, other aquariums, but compared to the zoo that's free,
Right.
it's like outrageous. And then it's
Right.
really not that big. Like,
I heard it's way too small
have-
for the
I heard
money
it's
they
like I think it's
charge.
like still under like it's not even finished yet.
Really?
No,
thought
they,
they were
it
still-
is like, I think if it's under construction, it's like they're adding things in, but they did like they
Right.
finished it. But they have one big tank that's got like a turtle. There's definitely a turtle, at least one turd.
One turd.
Olivia floats by. Olivia floats by. There's the turd. No, they've got at least one turtle in there. They've got like, I think, a shark in there, maybe and whatnot. And
in the same one.
yeah. There's like, so there's, this is like the big tank, right? That's got all of the really cool stuff in, and you're walking down this cramped hallway. It's dark, and there's like a porthole, and there's a couple of portholes that's how you look into it. You can't see shit.
Oh, boo.
Like,
Okay, I'm not going there.
the coolest thing.
How did this even get on the bracket?
We have things because there's a lot of stuff.
We have things as honorable mentions that I would think even would beat this.
That's why I didn't put the aquarium. I put Union Station.
I have regards. Okay.
Okay. So here's the thing, because I've been once.
Okay.
I've been once, never again.
Never again.
But they also have the manta ray pool that you can pet
Yes.
the rays.
But they bring that
And
manta ray
that's-
summer to the zoo too.
Yeah,
so
it's like-
Yes,
like
they
at the-
bring that to the zoo.
Which you do have to pay to do the manta rays at
But
the
not
zoo.
if you're a member.
But if you're a member, you get free tickets to that too. So yeah. Okay,
Also,
well don't get worked up.
No, I know.
Let's
I
just-
know. So I
let's
did.
just
I did
call it.
spend a very long time. I was getting bad looks from other parents, but I'm like, I'm not moving. I paid my money to be here. I'm petting these manta rays. Okay, they did my boy Steven. I'm petting the rays till I'm done. Okay,
She's doing that.
this is for Steven.
They're killing all the manta rays.
How dare you?
I will say that the coolest part, though, because the manta rays was pretty fun. The coolest part was, and not everyone will get this experience. They had an octopus. Okay, and if you've read Remarkably Bright Creatures, your interest might be piqued.
Did you see me perk up
Yes.
immediately?
Yes, listener Kate's also going to be excited about this octopus. In the octopus tank, it looks like there should be two octopus because
Or
octopi, maybe, because it is like one long rectangle, and then there is a plastic.
Partition?
Yes, and in the center of the plastic partition is a very small hole, and it is only big enough for the beak to fit through. And octopi can fit through any hole that their beak can fit through.
Yep.
And so when we were there, I watched them crawl up the wall, go through the hole to the other side. It was outrageous. It was extremely cool
You're gonna have to
to
see
see
that.
this giant octopus.
Squeeze himself
And I
in
was
there.
like, those motherfuckers. Like,
Oh yeah, they're escape artists. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You.
If the beak fits, it fits.
Yes.
I've heard that.
I had seen that, and then we read Remarkably Bright Creatures,
so
and
that's
so that was very cool. So that was very cool, and I will admit that next to it is like a jellyfish tank, and that was kind of cool too.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's it.
Real
You
jellyfish?
You literally go like, okay, we're petting the rays, portholes, octopus, jellyfish,
Out.
and that's basically it. Like, I mean, there are other smaller tanks with some stuff. To go to the aquarium as a non-member, because I'm not going to be a member, right? I'm not going to go nearly enough. $31 for one adult.
Yeah, that's
$23 for a child.
That's
Yeah.
$23 for a child.
You want to go to the aquarium and ride the wheel? $45 for one person.
No, that's too much. So we're gonna call it City Museum wins. There's
I-
this was
We didn't even really say the
all we
City
did was
Museum.
just
Yeah.
trash.
It's the city. I know. I'm sorry, Union Station, but not really. The City Museum is awesome. It's like half art exhibit, half playground, half.
You just explore.
Yes.
Now be careful because small children could get lost in there forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get your
So-
tetanus shots.
yeah.
Get
That cave
Do
system.
not go in the ball
Do
pit.
not take your toddler and
Yeah.
lose them in there.
That-
Wait till
that-
they're a little bit older.
The part where it's like a cave is no joke. Because
no joke.
There's small holes everywhere.
yeah,
Man.
and you can
You will
lose a kid
crack
in
your
there.
head on something
You will.
every time.
Oh, yeah.
You will leave with a concussion, but if you didn't leave, you didn't have a good time.
That's true. And
If you didn't leave, I'm not having a good time. I'm still stuck underground. Do you know what they just did the other day? So you know how on the stairs they have those like the spinning wheel thingies that are like
Yes.
along the railings?
Yes.
Literally, I mean, maybe 2 weeks ago, and we couldn't go because we were getting ready to go to Hawaii. They had their annual. They go out and they have people come out and you can repaint them.
Oh.
So you can paint every year they like repaint
They
them.
do that?
It's
Oh,
very cool.
we'll have to do that some year.
I thought you were gonna see they took them
That'll
all
be a
out.
hoot.
Now it's boring. Where
No. You go in. They
scared, I was
you
scared.
can go in and
Get
paint
one
them.
and paint it. Cool.
Yeah, and then
No,
they
but
redo it every year.
I mean, there's like the stuff that's on like the rooftop.
I've never been to the roof,
I've never.
but there's the
The
bus
school
that
bus is
hangs
up
out
there.
over the
Yeah.
over
Here-
the street.
Here's what's fun. That you guys love the same museum so much that I think as adults,
Yes,
you and Ashley chose as like, where do you want to go for your birthday? You guys chose the same museum.
Cade was here,
Yeah,
so the
Luke
three
was
of us.
here, yeah.
Well, the three of us all have the
And
same
it's my
birthday, and so we needed something that
Collectively,
everybody
you
could do.
guys agreed.
But
Same
we
museum.
got our. We've talked about this. We got our engagement photos at
Yeah.
the same museum.
We
We love the same
We
museum.
always have a ball. at the
We
museum.
took a bitchin' album cover photo in there.
We did. We were talking about it. I
Inside
posted
that,
it.
we were inside that bank safe. Okay, everybody was posing up.
Yeah, the
Yep.
listeners, if they followed up on our social media, they've seen it.
They've seen that bitch.
I signed it.
They signed it.
Okay.
All right,
No
next.
question. City Museum.
Next, we got the Fox Theater, the Fabulous Fox,
Wow.
versus Grant's Farm. Okay.
Oh, man.
Now, so
Okay.
to be clear, the Fabulous Fox Theater is a what's the word?
It started off
Historic. Is a
It's
historic, old timey theater.
beautiful. It used to be a movie theater.
Yes.
Can you imagine going to a building like that
No.
to just see a movie?
No,
Incredible.
And now they do stage productions, musicals, plays, etc.
Concerts year round.
yeah.
They have stuff year round now.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There's also like a little
But
restaurant.
they
in
have
there.
they have actual Broadway productions that travel.
And you can also I
have a
think
season.
do tours of just the building
Can
because
do
it's a historic.
tours. Yep.
I know somebody who was married, who got married there.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I would have loved that.
Uh,
They have a restaurant that you can go to during
Yeah.
when the shows
We
are
always get a pretzel
before a
and
show.
go.
Oh, they have the best soft pretzels ever.
Well,
Delicious.
I mean, honestly, since we had like the zoo versus the Muni, or was it the zoo
Yep.
versus the Muni?
It's true.
And we got Grant's Farm versus the Fox. I think the Muni wishes it was the Fox, and Grant's Farm wishes it was the zoo.
I will tell you that I love Grant's Farm because the Clydesdales are there,
That's
and
true.
they are amazing.
I
And
did
they are
want to
quite
say,
beautiful.
yeah. Here's the thing with Grant's Farm: you pay to park, and that's it.
And that's it. Once
That's
you go
actually-
in,
don't
you-
get to go
You
inside.
get on a little,
No.
you get on a little tram and you ride, and you go out and ride, and you see all the animals that they have.
Yeah,
out
they've
in
got like
the-
a lot of like
on the-
buffalo
on the-
and things like that there.
on the grounds. Yeah, deer and I don't know what all. They have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they've got the like barn area that's got the Clydesdales.
And you've got when you have goats again, like you said, petting zoo. You can feed the goats and pet them. Then they used to do shows like with elephants and then some birds. They did a couple different shows. I don't know if they still do. I haven't been there a long time.
They
I think Liv rode a camel once when we were there.
Oh.
Yep, you did.
Well, and they also have free beer
Yes,
tasting.
they have the courtyard where you can get food and you can get free beer tastings.
And
Yes.
on top of it all, they take your picture.
And the best
Classic.
thing in the world, before you, while you're waiting in line to get on the little tram,
Uh-huh.
they take your picture so that when you leave, they want you to then buy the picture.
Which normally we're not gonna buy them.
Have we told this story? Because we said it was the best, it is the best family picture
Maybe,
we've ever taken.
but I will say that we're gonna be running short on time, so I'm gonna say that we'll have a leftover if we haven't already told it.
We'll talk about that picture another day and we'll post it another day. Liv is amazing in this picture. That's all we'll
it's a
say.
great picture.
But now who wins? The fox. Now here's the thing: we should have put the zoo up against Grant's Farm.
But that was
And
we were
the
put
fox
all
up
the
against the muni.
freebies on one side and
It's
the paid
true.
things on one side.
I understand that.
I will say I think I'm gonna go with Fox Theater because it's a more historic building. It is
You have access to it year round.
that's true. And the shows that you see, the big Broadway
big Broadway
productions
shows.
come to the Fox.
Come to the Fox. They're amazing. Honestly, the Fox is probably one of my favorite places on the planet.
Yeah, there
And
was
honestly, I can't run the risk of getting a heat stroke
that's true.
at the Fox.
Olivia is a hot box.
There-
Mayor and I, when COVID finally ended,
Yeah.
and we could go back to the
the
theater,
Fox.
back to the Fox. We both looked at each other, was like, "This is my happy place."
Yeah.
it is.
It's
We
like
love it.
it's like those adults
The-
that like go back to Disney World for the first time. They see the castle. Mom's just like on the carpet on the ride
With the elephant.
I miss you so.
by Shayla.
Yeah, my Shayla's. There's, for me, nothing like a live performance. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
That's the
I'm
other thing.
always amazed how talented people are, and it blows my mind. I have had religious experiences, tears to my eyes in the Fox, during cats,
Yeah.
Les
Oh,
Mis.
I love the fox.
Love the fox.
I'm moving the fox.
The
on.
fox goes over.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
Up next, we have the Botanical Gardens
Oh.
versus the World Bird Sanctuary.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Now, the Botanical Gardens are probably exactly what you think, but it also encompasses the Butterfly House.
There's another part to it. I thought that there's 3 different
I'm
places.
certain
But
that
the
there
Butterfly
is.
House, I think, is amazing. I love it. It was, it's so cool. It's really, really fun. There's a park nearby too. I really, really enjoyed the Butterfly House. I got some great pictures from the Butterfly House.
I'm gonna be.
But and I find the Botanical Gardens, if you ever want to go and just have like this peaceful day and just walk through there, it's so gorgeous. They have rose garden. If you go out to like the Japanese area and they got the fish and it's just, I find it absolutely gorgeous and peaceful. I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so for real. Because we included the zoo into this bracket, any other kind of place
I just can't compare.
like the Botanical Gardens, there isn't really another place kind of like that in St. Louis. Like if you want to see,
True.
if you want to go to a
You can
specific
go
place
to
to
Jewel Box, but it's
see,
much smaller. It's more like a greenhouse, but it's
Right.
also pretty. But Botanical Garden's much bigger. Yeah.
oh yeah,
You
And
know,
like-
the
and-
World Bird Sanctuary is.
did you just talk about this? Like the exhibits that are there, just like the glass blowing.
Oh,
exhibit.
they brought in that
the
glass
light
exhibit.
shows.
They brought in the
the lantern one.
Oh, that
That's
was
the last time we were there.
gorgeous.
Was the glow.
That
Those
was
were
gorgeous.
stunning.
They do bring in those special exhibits in the summers a lot of times, and yeah, they're amazing. I love it.
It is great, and they have like I said, events, the glow. Sometimes it's like, oh, whatever flowers in bloom, and that's a whole thing, like the corpse flower and all that kind of
They
stuff.
also have like certain nights they have like music. I think,
Yes.
too.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
Yeah.
they had a corpse flower.
They do
didn't
have
go.
They have a corpse. It blooms every so often. They let you know.
Yeah.
Now I will tell
I
you, the
didn't
World
get a call.
Bird Sanctuary is a special place in my heart. They used to take my
I
students there.
love the World Bird
on
Sanctuary.
field trips in October. They used to have an open house. If they ever have an open house, that's the day to go because it is free then, and they'll do demonstrations with the different birds and tell you about them, and you can learn a lot and help because they'll help whatever if they can get it back into the wild, they will. If
Yeah.
they can't, they'll keep it and take care of it, and they do some really good things.
We talked about this because you're like, what the hell constitutes a bird of prey
Yeah.
emergency?
The first time I called out there, this is a bird of prey emergency, dial whatever, and I was like, what? Of course,
Yeah.
then I learned. So
Then you learn.
it's
yeah.
also if you get a chance to go out there, go out there. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah,
but I will
think-
say Botanical Gardens. I think I would.
Oh,
vote.
yeah.
I think I gotta go also
Okay,
Botanical
go for it.
Gardens. So okay, but the Botanical Gardens is moving on.
Who's next?
All right, last one. Busch Stadium, home of the Cardinals,
Okay.
versus the Magic House.
Oh boy.
Oh, I just know
poor
baloney.
little Magic House. Sorry, Busch Stadium.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
Busch
it's
Stadium.
gotta be Busch
The
Stadium.
Magic House, for those who don't know, is almost like a science center.
It is, but for
much younger.
much younger kids, say through maybe second grade.
and skinny children.
It's actually really really fun. You do have to pay to get in, but I've taken field trips out there too, and taken you guys when you were little, and we've always had a great time. But
Yes.
Busch Stadium is just too.
Well, yeah, Busch Stadium.
Too iconic.
Historic. Not even just Busch Stadium. Like you've got Ballpark Village
Village,
right,
right.
next to it too.
Right. And home of the best baseball team in the world. those Cardinals. All right. Busch Stadium moves on next.
Yeah.
Now, is
So-
that the end of this?
That's the
thing?
end of
So now-
round one.
Okay, now what?
Now we'll go back to the top.
Okay.
We've got the zoo. It's facing off against the art museum.
The zoo.
It's gotta be the
It's gotta be the
It's
zoo.
gotta be the zoo.
I figured this would be easier once we kind of
Okay.
nailed them next.
All right.
The Arch versus the Science Center.
I think the
Arch.
Science Center. What? Are you kidding me?
I- the Arch.
I think that I'm leaning Science Center
Oh.
Thank you.
because I've been to the Arch, and I don't really think I ever need to go again.
yeah.
I'd keep going to the Science Center.
Cause
They
like-
do say they do, and that's true. And I do love that they switch out the exhibits. I do love. I would go to the
Right.
planetarium any day of the week.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Science Center.
Right.
I'll give them the
It's like
Science Center.
unlike the other places we listed off, like the History Museum, the Art Museum, whatever. They bring in different stuff. The Arch doesn't necessarily do that. It's just
Now,
the museum.
admittedly, it's no pansy monument.
It's
Let's
not.
be clear.
Well,
It's not.
yeah,
It's
but
the
it's
best
not.
monument.
That's not.
It's the best
I
monument in
built
the
the
country.
Arch. I built the Arch at the Science Center. Okay, I saw it.
It's true. You could go back and
I
build
made
it.
it. It's
again.
no biggie. It's no biggie.
All right, next.
Literally.
All right. City Museum. Now we're back down to the page.
Okay.
City Museum versus the Fox.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh
How will I ever choose? I would choose the Fox. That's my personal
I'm
choice.
choosing the City Museum.
It's up to the.
I think you really.
It's up to the delegates.
it's up to Hamilton.
Honestly, if you're a lover of the arts, the Fox is where you want to go.
This is where it's
But
at.
but once again, we're back at our museum, this museum. If you want something more interactive and you just don't want to sit for too long, then it's the museum, obviously. So I'm like, I'm a good mix. I could go either way. This calls for a decision wheel.
I'll give you my reasoning. I think the City Museum has more to offer for a wide variety of ages.
That's true.
The Fox, you are limited to what shows are coming.
Oh yeah.
The City Museum is constantly changing things, swapping things out. Fun for
Okay.
a lot of different reasons.
What is your choice, Liv? It is down to you to break the
this
tie.
story decision wheel? She said.
The other day she says, "Mom, you know what this calls for?" I couldn't. I'm like, I don't know. You know? I'm like, no, I don't know. A decision wheel. I was like, oh my god.
Also, I will say that the City Museum is cheaper than the Fox.
That's true.
That's true.
All right, catch
Yeah,
it
I would say, I think nostalgia wise, I would probably just go to the museum.
Okay.
Okay, she's going to City Museum.
My heart is
because-
broken, and you both have betrayed me.
Sorry.
But you know what? Whatever.
I
City
think,
Museum.
well, I think if it was Sam that was here, I think she would say Fox Theater.
I don't know. That'd be tough. She loves the City Museum as well.
Well, here's the thing. We were having this discussion with Dad and Ashley, and both of them were like, I'm not sure why the Fox is on this bracket.
I know. Rude. Don't even talk to me about that.
I know.
Moving on. We can't discuss that.
Can't discuss it.
That's what I'm
Well-
saying. I'm like, it depends on if you're like how
Well, yeah, it's a
in
person-
you are
it's a personal
into
opinion.
theater you are.
Absolutely.
Musicals.
All right, last one in the Elite Eight here.
Okay.
Botanical Gardens versus Busch Stadium.
Oh.
It really that's again once again
It's tough. It's tough one.
it
This
really
is
comes down to preferences. Like
Sure.
sure
If you're not into sports,
exactly
that's not gonna be your thing. But we are a big sports family.
If it's a money thing, Botanical Gardens obviously is cheaper.
Not necessarily, because the Cardinals do have games where they will do tickets for $10.
I will say that also if you show up after, I think, the 8th inning, you can get in for free.
That's true.
But,
But,
I
like,
mean,
why
in the
would
8th inning,
Right. Right.
if you
Well,
go every
and-
single time, you're going to see one of those is going to go into
I
extra
will
innings.
also tell you that the Cardinals are one of, if not the best team in MLB. Their giveaways are the
giveaways
best
are the
in the
best.
MLB.
oh
We have historically been a good team. We're hitting a rough patch right
we
here.
We are in a slow
But
rough patch right now.
enough people take opening day in St. Louis as like a holiday.
It's a holiday.
Right.
It's like a holy
It's-
day.
so I think we got to give it to Busch Stadium.
And I also want to add that Busch Stadium, like other kind of stadiums around the country, is not just used for baseball.
That's true.
Because like
There are
ballpark,
concerts.
if we're grouping Ballpark Village into this as
True.
well, there have been various concerts. I'm talking Ballpark Village. We saw Fits and the Tantrums over there.
That was a good time.
Also,
was a great time.
in Busch Stadium itself, though, Metallica was there a couple of years ago.
You also can tour Busch Stadium, which is very cool, and the Cardinals Hall of Fame is across the street in Baltimore.
And that's free, I think.
No, it's not.
I lied.
It's not. But if you have a ticket, a certain ticket for, I forget where it is across the street, then you can get in there for free. So
Are
we
there,
got
like-
to see it that one day. So have we decided that it's Busch Stadium? Because
I think so.
Gosh, this is tough because I think Botanical Gardens
I
is
think
awesome.
also the fact that yes, well, realistically you're going to go there to see a baseball game. Every game could be different because I watched Albert Pujols pitch
Yeah, we did.
that one game.
That game we never thought
That
we
was
we
so
saw stuff we
fun.
never thought we'd ever see in our lives.
I've seen
We
seen
had a lot
some
of
great
fun there.
games.
We have games already lined up. Dad and I have games lined up for this
Once
year
again,
already. We're sports families, so for us it's a ball.
Yeah.
Like
But Busch Stadium, I think, has something for everybody.
Yeah.
Again, because it's like Botanical Gardens, again, acquired taste, depending on,
I think it's harder for the younger
it's still
kids.
awesome. So check it out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I don't know.
I think younger kids may not appreciate it as much.
Because
but
you can even do like birthday parties with like favorites. That's fair.
That's
That's true. Okay.
All right, back to the top, to the
Okay.
freebies. The zoo versus the science center.
The zoo.
The zoo.
on.
I think it has to be the
Yep,
zoo.
it's a zoo.
I love the zoo with all of my heart
It's
and soul.
We love it.
always been the
That's
zoo.
always been a zoo.
All right, final four: City Museum versus Busch Stadium.
Scaring me. Ah! Oh,
City Museum.
I see museum because I'm not sitting around most of the time.
I think I gotta get
Yeah,
to City
Gotta
Museum.
go. Interactive.
If someone is visiting St. Louis, I will tell them
Yeah.
go to City Museum. I will not tell them go buy
Right.
tickets.
Well,
and
and
go
here's
to
the
Busch
thing for Busch
Oh,
Stadium
yeah.
too. Also, not always access to it year round.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
100%.
And so not everybody's
The
into
museum's going to be
baseball.
open year round.
Yes.
It really depends on the day that you're going because it's like, well, I'll go this day because depending on like maybe the giveaway that they have.
That's true.
Or maybe
and
I'll
we plan
go-
our trips around the giveaways.
We've gone in July when they'll have like 4th of July fireworks show.
Oh, the fireworks are
Sometimes-
great.
We've had a lot of really fun games at Busch
Yeah,
Stadium. I've
yeah.
sweat my ass off
Oh, yeah.
in Busch Stadium
Oh, yeah.
also a
It-
lot.
it
I've been
is.
rained out. I have been
Satin
freezing.
ponchos.
I have been sitting out there in like 90-degree heat because my grandmother would have
Oh, no, you
disowned
can't-
me if I left that
Oh,
game.
okay.
Not
leave
to
early.
not to do like a shameless plug here, but if you want to go to like a baseball stadium fireworks show, but you don't want to go to the stadium, Gateway Grizzlies also does.
Oh,
I'll
that's
tell you
true.
what, the Gateway Grizzlies fireworks last year, was it last summer? Or the
Yeah,
summer
2
before?
summers ago.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Loved it.
They
It
were
was a
fun.
really great
Grizzlies
fireworks. And it's very cheap actually
the
to go to a Grizzlies game. Yeah.
I totally forgot about them, but I'm putting them on here as an
That's
honorable
true,
mention.
Okay.
But all right,
So we said
here we go. Championship:
Championship.
the zoo versus the city museum. It's the zoo
it's
for
the
me.
zoo.
It's the zoo for me.
It's the soup for me. It's the soup for me.
Because it's free. And it's
And-
phenomenal.
And I can tell you right now, I've never left the zoo museum with a different animal plushie.
And I tell you what, I've
It's
never
true.
left the zoo with a concussion. So
I've never left the zoo feeling embarrassed that I couldn't push myself out of a hole because I have no upper arm strength.
Because they had to grease me up and pull me through.
I've never felt ashamed. I've never lost my dignity at the zoo.
I never had to climb 6 stories to go on a slide with my kid and get stuck.
I've
halfway
never-
down.
I've never-
10-story slide.
I've never been winded at the zoo that I had to like pass out.
It's true. I get to the top of that 10-story slide and I'm like,
No, literally, Sam, Cade, Luke, and I were going up to 10-story one. You know, Cade and Luke are like physically fit.
oh yeah.
And then Sam and I, we get like halfway, we're like,
I
I'm gonna vomit.
die of a heart attack. We've been praising the city museum this whole time, and now we're like, oh my god, I almost died there.
No, listen. In 6th grade, we went with Dad.
Yeah,
Okay, and you know that like the thing that goes under the floor.
Oh
Yeah, you
yes,
couldn't-
I
that
recall
tunnel
this
was
story.
on the floor.
I've never
We
I'm so
went
scared.
through, we did that. I was in 6th grade. Okay, I was.
But your dad went
me,
under
I
there
was
with
me
you.
thing. Dad went in last.
yeah.
He comes out the other side. Go on without me.
Save yourself.
No, that's
We have to back out?
No, we got him out.
Oh,
You can't.
my
You
God.
can't.
You can't. For one, people are probably behind you.
It's pitch black.
Yeah.
There's no,
No,
light.
no.
At what point?
No.
Goes, whoop, and there's just a drop.
No.
There's there's about a foot drop.
I have never crawled in there, and I never
And
will.
you're
No.
crawling along. There's like a foot drop at some
No.
point. It's dark. You're like, oh dear.
Oh dear.
You're like,
dear.
I'm sure that's what Dad said.
I'm sure that's what.
Oh dear.
I can guarantee you, if it was
Oh,
me, it wouldn't have
brother.
been oh dear.
So I think we got to give it to the zoo.
It's
No,
got to be the
that- I have never done that underground thing. That is so terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
I had trouble getting stuck in an elevator. Okay, you think I
I-
like a small tunnel underground? You kidding me? In the dark.
More praise for the zoo. Every single time I am like singing the praises of St. Louis, the zoo is the first thing I mention.
All
Without a doubt. Without a fail.
all 5 of us in our family, and Ash as well, we all agree we love the zoo. Liv asks, I think, every other week, can we go to the zoo?
I love the zoo.
We still,
yes.
as adults, even now,
We just
love
went
the zoo.
the day after my birthday.
We went and we said goodbye to Rajan, but we ended up having just this wonderful
Amazing
day.
time.
Oh, yeah.
So it never gets
the
old.
zoo brings
It never
exhibit
gets old.
things that they just
Absolutely.
got 2 new twin baby polar bears.
Right, they
Oh,
did,
yeah.
and right now they have a lantern festival.
Yes.
So we're gonna go.
Well, they always do they always
Is that not over already?
No,
no,
it's
no,
still
no.
going on.
Yeah, it's still going on.
So,
But they do the lights like
the zoo lights,
the zoo
Chris-
lights at
Christmas
Christmas.
lights. We did that.
They
That
also
was-
do
that's
like a
great.
Halloween
I loved it.
thing.
Yeah, you're right. They do.
Boo at the zoo.
Boo
I
at the
think.
zoo. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a Halloween thing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I will always
Now
sing-
those things are
sing the
not free.
praises.
Oh yeah.
Those things are
Correct.
not free, but
Correct.
they're all very cool, and it helps the
But it's
zoo.
worth every dime.
It helps the zoo. So the Animals that Glow Lantern Festival at the zoo is now through May 11th. So we have time.
Okay,
you get
when this
there,
comes out, it'll still be going on.
it'll
Thank
still be
God.
going
Woohoo!
on. Check it out. It's really beautiful.
Um,
Honorable mentions.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
have it.
honorable mentions. We said the Gateway Grizzlies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Turtle Park.
Turtle Park is
Turtle
a treat.
Park.
It's an absolute treat. Right across the interstate from the zoo. If you've never been there, check it out. It's a blast.
If you love
It's
turtles,
just a park.
It's a park,
free.
but it's great because we would stop there on field trips, or even just like we would go to the zoo,
Yes.
then we would go across over to Turtle Park and eat lunch. We'd
Yep.
bring our
Have a
lunch and eat.
picnic.
And you guys would climb. You could climb all over the turtles.
They're
huge.
giant concrete
Turtles.
turtle sculptures of all types of turtles. There's some eggs. There's one big snake.
With snake.
It's very, very cool. It's fun. I loved
Somebody
it.
like donated it and
Yes.
like put that together there, and it's very
It's-
cool.
Yeah, I think
We
it's
love-
actually technically called Turtle Playground.
I think it is, but we
Fun
always
fact.
call it Turtle Park. We
but
love
it's
it.
in Forest Park.
It also is part of it. Yes.
So this is why we said Forest Park would have won everything.
it would have. Okay, next.
Turtle Park. There is a Holocaust museum in St. Louis.
There is, and I've never been. Have you been there?
I have
I'm
been
so-
once.
Have you been?
I don't know.
I know you guys used to go like on a field trip.
I didn't know we had one.
I've never been. I want to
We
go.
went when I was in 7th grade. You would have switched to public school by then.
So it's on our list to go.
It's the. Let me double
Wait,
check.
when you were in 7th grade?
It's changed names. It used to be called like the St.
wouldn't
Louis
have been.
Holocaust Museum. Now it's called. Somebody sponsors it now.
There's the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum.
That's what it's called now. Yeah.
It's a Holocaust museum. It's like a very,
You've been there.
a very somber kind of thing, but it's very powerful.
Worth a visit.
I believe it's worth the visit.
Okay. What else you got?
The Cahokia Mounds.
Oh, it's okay.
This
it's
was
amazing.
this was
Yeah.
disqualified from this because it is just slightly too far outside of St. Louis for us to
Well,
consider.
it's over in Illinois, so
Yes.
we didn't include
It's
it.
in Cahokia.
But check it out. It's amazing. They redid their museum. It's excellent now. Climbed the biggest mound, and it's incredible. What else you got?
The Cathedral Basilica.
Yes.
I don't think that that's free to tour. It's a cathedral, so if you're Catholic, but I don't know that
It's
free
really
to
pretty.
tour.
The Capitol is right there. Usually, a lot of times you can do a deal where you can
Yes.
do both in the same day. Go toward the old Capitol building and then go over to the Basilica.
Basilica.
And
Because it's a cathedral, right?
Yeah.
But only certain ones are deemed a basilica. It's like
Right.
a whole thing.
a lot of people want to get married there because it's really, really quite.
I think a
quite
miracle is
beautiful.
supposed to have happened there.
Well,
That's part
get
of
this
it.
one. This is my skinny my scoop. My
Go
boom.
on, go on.
A new relic. This was in 2023 when this relic was brought to this Archdiocese of St. Louis to be housed there at the Cathedral Basilica.
Okay.
Okay, so supposedly a piece of toe
What?
once belonging to St. Louis the Ninth, the French king for whom St. Louis, Missouri is named, was sent here to this
Basilica.
Yeah. So, the director of marketing and advancement says that the relic is part of a toe bone that was brought to this area. Okay. And the toe bone was recently gifted to the Archdiocese of St. Louis by the Cathedral Monreale of Sicily. The Italian connection, Hogan says, is one reason why St. Ambrose got to display it first.
Wow.
Okay, so
We couldn't even get the whole toe.
the toe
Jail.
did you know? So when this guy was killed, St. Louis the Ninth was killed in an ill-fated crusade.
Oh,
He died of dysentery.
should have just prayed to that.
In
Should have prayed to
1270.
that saint that we talked about.
Should have died of dysentery in 1270. 1270. The body of Louis was dismembered. Oh. I'm telling you, it was a thing. His heart and entrails were interred at this cathedral in Sicily. Easy to miss a bit of toe, apparently.
I guess.
And the rest of his remains were sent to St. Denis Cathedral in Paris. Now here, the toe bone is sent to the Archdiocese. It's been other places, but now supposedly it's here. And they're not sure if there's going to be toe showings or not.
Could get a little toe ring or something for him.
Oh my gosh, they have authentic papers
Unbelievable.
that state that this is the real toe of St. Louis the Ninth.
I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. And that means there's got to be a toe.
I found that crazy. Why would you want the toe? The toe bone. That's odd. But
Why wouldn't you want the toe?
I don't know. Apparently,
I'm speechless.
yeah. It's kind of odd, right? But
Speechless.
who knows? Anyway, okay. You got any more
Yes.
options?
Okay, really quickly. Okay. Raging Rivers is up in Grafton.
It's cool, but it's fun.
It's not their saying. That's Anna's saying. That's another leftover we don't have time to get into right now. But it's a water park, and we had many a fun day at Raging Rivers.
It is a fun place.
The Museum of Transportation.
Oh, that's
Fun.
it's kind of over by it's not far from Grant's Farm.
Correct.
So if you ever want to do Grant's Farm and you can hit the Transportation Museum, it's a real hoot. You can actually walk through an old trains.
You're an affy.
It's amazing how big these trains are. Shut up. They have a plane out front and a ship, and then you can go in
Yeah.
and ride a little train around, and it's a fun place. It's a fun place. Fun time.
Crazy.
We already kind of mentioned this Cardinals Hall of Fame.
Yep, that's over there.
There is the Bowling Hall of Fame.
The
is in
Bowling Hall
St.
of Fame
Louis.
is in St. Louis. Yeah,
I have been to that.
and you can bowl even. Yeah,
I've been there.
I've done it.
okay.
It was can't imagine there's a Hall of Fame for it.
It was fun.
I haven't
for,
been there. I haven't been there many years, but it was cool when I was there. So yeah.
so that's fun.
Okay.
Six Flags St. Louis.
Yep,
That's
out there
not
in Eureka,
we're
but
copyright
I don't
claimed.
know.
The last one is the Enterprise Center.
Okay,
Where the
Enterprise
Blues
Center.
play.
Gotta go see a Blues game. Just talking to my coworker, she's going to the Enterprise Center for the first time for a Blues game. She was asking me about jerseys and whatnot, and I said, "You got to go see a hockey game.
Classic.
That's my favorite sport to watch live. It is a blast. That venue. If you ever go there for a concert
It's a great venue.
or a Blues game,
Yeah.
not a bad seat in the house, honestly, because it only holds about 20,000, so it's nice. It's not
Yes.
huge.
Saw my first concert there, Michael
Yeah.
Bublé.
Did Michael Bublé. I
That
think
was
it's
also my first concert.
I think
Michael
it's a great
Bublé.
venue.
Wow.
Your first concert was Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé. Mine was Huey Lewis in the News.
Wow.
Loved it.
Wow.
Loved it.
Wow.
All right. Well,
That's a class. So the zoo has won our Arch Madness.
Zoo is the winner. Mark Madness. Hey, if you get listener, if you got any other ideas, something we missed, let us know.
There's so many things to do in St. Louis that we didn't even talk about.
Yeah, we
and-
missed a lot of things, but maybe there's
Of
something we don't
course.
know about too. So
Well, I know that some people
let us know.
You know, I left out like the Casino Queen, and I left out the riverboat tours. That's a whole thing
That's
we're
true.
gonna do.
That's true.
I will. Oh, shame. I will do a quick plug. One more thing that's in Forest Park is there is the oh man, it's like the Shakespeare or something.
Shakespeare in the Park.
Well, that's what they put up, but there's a permanent outdoor theater that they built
gotcha.
there.
A little one.
That
Yeah,
is
for
like
that.
it's called Shakespeare Glen.
Oh, very good.
But yeah, they've got a little outdoor thing. I've been twice. I love it. I try to convince Ashley every year. I usually forget to look it up at what time it is, and then I miss it. Like when they're putting it on. I wanted to see Much Ado About Nothing really bad,
that would be
and
awesome.
missed it. That was like 2 years ago, so I'm gonna have to wait.
I'm gonna write this down.
but
and
that's
never look
free.
At it again.
That's free too. You can go
I've-
see Shakespeare.
I've
The
never
Shakespeare in
gone.
the Park.
I've never gone, and I want to.
I love
so
it.
that's something we need
Yep.
to do.
You get your little picnic blanket or your little lawn chairs, and you just go out and sit on
Go
the
in,
lawn and
watch
they
the
go on
show.
Shakespeare.
Cool.
Yep, it's great. It's
That's
great.
So cool.
So,
All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but after this, I'm gonna need some serious beef.
and some, oh man, some serious toasted raviolis.
All right.
I was like, what the hell is St. Louis?
Okay.
Maybe some serious gooey butter cake.
Oh my gosh. Bye.
Bye.